आप लोगों को सेल का डायग्राम प्रिपेयर करना है और सेल मेम्ब्रेन पे शॉर्ट नोट प्रिपेयर करना है। 2 काम मैंने बोले थे तुम लोगों को घर से करने के लिए। कितने लोगों ने किया है ये कंप्लीट?
Yes, ma'am.
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 हो गया?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
वेरी गुड। चलो, so now today we will discuss regarding tissues. One more chapter is there in your syllabus on tissues. So how will you define tissues? ये भी last time हम लोगों ने देखा था थोड़ा क्लास में. Can anyone from you explain the term tissue?
A tissue is a
Yes,
Collection of
very
cells
good.
having similar origin, structure, and functions.
A group of tissue from organ.
How will you define the tissues?
When more than one cells are collected, means group of cell is formed, then that is called tissue. And the main point in that tissue is all the cell should be of same group.
Yes, very good. ये कहाँ गया? मैं कौन फिर?
बैठा रोबोट आपने की टीवी देखी?
कहाँ बैठा?
ये कंप्यूटर पे बैठा है।
ये दरवाजा बंद कर।
रोबोट बने तो भी नहीं उठता, मेरा बोलना पड़े।
Yes, the tissues are a group of cells having similar origin and they are grouped together to perform some common generalized functions. So elementary tissues present in our body are classified into 4 different types: epithelial tissues, connective tissues, muscular tissues, and nervous tissues. So I'm going to share my screen with you. Screen is visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
In this way, this is the classification of tissues. 4 different types of tissues are present in our body: epithelial tissues, connective tissues, muscular tissues, and nervous tissues. these are the 4 different types of tissues on your screen. Diagram is there for connective tissues, epithelial tissues, muscular tissues, and nervous tissues. So each of these different types of tissue we'll discuss in detail one by one. So first is the epithelial tissues. So epithelial tissue is the type of tissues that provides covering layer. It covers the other body tissues. And this epithelial tissue consists of cells that are situated very near to each other with least intercellular space. Okay, space between the two cells is known as intercellular space. So in the case of epithelial tissues, cells are situated very near to each other with least intercellular space. And in this epithelial tissue provides covering to the other tissues. And these epithelial tissues, again, they are divided into various types depending upon the shape and the arrangement of the cells present in the epithelial tissues. These are the functions of epithelial tissues that protects the tissues that lie beneath it from radiation, toxins, okay, invasion by pathogens, physical trauma, exchange of chemicals and underlying tissues and body cavity. It regulates the exchange of chemicals between the underlying tissues and the body cavities. Against these epithelial tissues are classified into various types depending upon the shape and the arrangement of the cell. Okay. So in the case of epithelial tissue, if it is having single layer of cell, then it is known as simple epithelial tissue. And if it is having more than one layer of cells, then this type of tissues are known as stratified epithelial tissues. Squamous epithelial tissues, cuboidal epithelial tissues, and columnar epithelial tissues. These are the three different classes of epithelial tissue. This classification is based on the structure or on the shape and size of the cells. So you can see this is the diagram of simple and stratified epithelial tissue. First one is the squamous epithelial tissue. So in this epithelial tissue, cells are situated on the basement membrane. You can see this blue colored, light blue colored region that shows the basement membrane. So in this epithelial tissue, cells are situated on the basement membrane very near to each other with least intercellular space. You can see from this diagram, these are the cells and they are arranged very near to each other with least intercellular space, and they are situated on the basement membrane. Nucleus is present in the center of the cell, and arrangement of the cells is like the cells appear like tiles on the floor. In the case of squamous epithelium, cells are arranged very near to each other, and arrangement of the cells is like that. The cells appear like tiles on the floor. This type of squamous epithelium is found in lungs, in Bowman's capsule, in heart, and on the inner wall of the blood vessels. Okay, these are the organs in which this type of squamous epithelium is found. And in these organs, they are performing the functions like filtration, exchange of gases. These are the functions performed. Say, for example, they are present in the squamous epithelial tissue, which is present in the Bowman's capsule. And there, it performs the function of filtration. Filtration of blood takes place in the Bowman's capsule. That is the first stage of urine formation. They are present, this type of cells are present in lungs. So in the lungs, they perform the function of exchange of gases. Oxygen is taken in, carbon dioxide is given out. So in this way, they perform the function of exchange of gases. Okay. Now, second type of epithelial tissue, that is the cuboidal. This tissue is the cuboidal epithelial tissue. So this is the simple cuboidal epithelium, and this one is the stratified cuboidal epithelium. So in the simple epithelium, cuboidal epithelium, here also you can see that cells are situated on the basement membrane very near to each other with least intercellular space. Nucleus is present in the center of the cell. And this cuboidal epithelial tissue is found in bronchioles. Bronchioles, that is the part of respiratory system. They are also present in salivary glands. In the salivary gland, they perform the function of secretion of saliva. They are also present in the thyroid glands, where they perform the function of secretion of thyroid hormones. Now, this third type, this one is the columnar epithelium. In this case, cuboidal epithelial tissue, you can see the cells are having similar dimension from all the sides. That is, the cells are cubical shaped. Cubes-like structure is there of the cells. That is why they are named as cuboidal epithelial tissues. Here in the case, columnar epithelial tissue, you can see the height of the cell is more than its breadth. Cells are elongated in the columnar epithelial tissue. Here also cells are situated on the basement membrane. They are situated very near to each other with least intercellular space in the columnar epithelial tissue. This type of cells are found in alimentary canal, in lungs, in duct of gland, in the inner wall of the intestines. They are found, which secretes, where they perform the function of secretion of mucus. They are also helping in absorption and secretion of various substances. Okay. So in this way, these are the four different, these are the various types of epithelial tissues: squamous, cuboidal, columnar epithelial tissue. Now, second type of tissue present in our body, it is a connective tissue. Connective tissue, as the name suggests, it is a connective tissue. It serves as binding structure between two tissues. Okay? Connective tissues. These tissues connects the different parts of the body together. That is why they are named as connective tissue. They serve as the binding structure between two tissues. The cells are less in number, but intercellular substance called matrix is found in this type of tissues, and it performs the function of binding and supporting the different tissues. Okay, intercellular substance called matrix is found in abundance, and it performs the function of binding and supporting the different tissues. Now again, there are various types of connective tissues present. in our body. Classification. So this shows the classification of connective tissues. Areolar connective tissue, fibrous connective tissues, adipose tissue, lymphoid tissues, reticular tissues, cartilage. Again, cartilage is divided into hyaline cartilage, elastic cartilage, fibrocartilage, bone, and blood. These are the various types of connective tissues present in our body. So loose connective tissue, it is also known as areolar connective tissue. So in this type of tissue, in this, the subcutaneous, it is present in mucous, subcutaneous and subarachnoid tissue between the muscles and nerves, and in the interferon of the organs binding its different parts. And in this type of tissue made up of ground substance called matrix, within which lie two kinds of fibers, yellow elastic fibers and white or collagen fibers. Now these fibers which are present in this tissue cross and intercross, thus making the network and the space of which it is occupied by the matrix. In the case of white fibrous tissue, this type of connective tissue is made up of white shining fibers. There are the thin fibers and non-branching fibers that are present in bundles. Bundles of fibers are present. And in the case of yellow elastic tissue, in this type of connective tissue, it is made up of fibers that are thicker and branched, and they appear yellow in color. In the case of adipose tissue, it is also known as loose connective tissue. The cells of adipose tissues contain fatty substances that are large and round in shape. Adipose tissue is found beneath the skin in the subcutaneous tissue. This tissue prevents the injury to underlying delicate organs of the body. Lymphoid tissue. This tissue contains lymph. Lymphoid tissue contains lymph, lymph glands, lymphatic vessels. Cartilage. Cartilage is a type of connective tissue that is hard but elastic in nature. Cartilage is a type of tissue which is hard as compared to other tissues, but it is elastic in nature. It contains large quantity of matrix formed of hard substances, chondrin. Again, these cartilage are of three types: hyaline cartilage, fibrocartilage, and elastic cartilage. Hyaline cartilage consists of ground substance, cartilage cells, and these cells are large, rounded with angles. In the case of hyaline cartilage, it is found in bones, ribs, and in long bones. Fibrous cartilage consists of cells which are large and they are arranged in groups and placed inside the lucans. Collagen fibers are more than that found in the hyaline cartilage. This type of fibrous cartilage is found in intervertebral disc, in the knee joints. Elastic cartilage. It consists of the number of cells, and elastic cartilage is found in pinna of ear. It is present in eustachian tube and in the some of the laryngeal cartilage. Bones. We all are familiar with bone. Bone is the hardest connective tissue. Amongst all the connective tissue present in our body, bone is the hardest connective tissue present in our body. Bone is having calcium salts as present in the as a ground substance. Calcium salts are present in the ground substances. Then blood. We all are also familiar with the blood. Blood is a fluid connective tissue present in our body. It contains blood cells, blood plasma. Blood cells are of mainly three types: red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets. Red color of the blood is due to the red blood cells present in blood. And blood is a fluid connective tissue. In our body, blood is continuously flowing in the blood vessels like arteries and veins. So it is being pumped continuously by the heart, which it fills. Okay. So all this was regarding the connective tissues. Now coming to muscular tissues. These are the muscular tissues present in our body. Okay. Three different type of muscular tissues. Skeletal muscle, visceral muscle, cardiac muscle. Okay. Cardiac muscle, skeletal muscle, smooth muscle cell, which are also known as the visceral muscles because they are present in the visceral organs. So first we'll see regarding this skeletal muscle. This skeletal muscle is usually attached to bones. This type of skeletal muscle is usually attached to bones. That is why they are named as skeletal muscles. And these skeletal muscles are under the control of will. That is why they are also known as voluntary muscles. Again, I repeat, these skeletal muscles are attached to bones. That is why they are named as skeletal muscle. Number two, movement of this means these skeletal muscles are under the control of will. That is why they are also known as voluntary muscles. Okay, skeletal muscles are also known as voluntary muscles. And in the diagram, you can see that striation is found at the regular interval in this skeletal muscle. That is why they are also known as striated muscle. So skeletal muscle is known as voluntary muscle. It is also known as striated muscles. Each fiber consists of number of nuclei, and myofibrils are embedded in sarcoplasm, and the fibers are unbranched in the case of skeletal muscle. Now this is the smooth muscle cell. It is also known as visceral muscle because they are found. This type of muscular tissue is found in visceral organs. Okay, in this diagram it is shown. Say this is the stomach, where this type of smooth muscle cell or